What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Warren Central Track / cross country extravaganza. I called it a lot in this video. My waves are looking patchy, but they looking wavy. Use. Hold up. Oh my gosh. I got to get to the video, but shout out. Shout out to that. Shout out to waves. Shout out to. There's a brand that I get. I can't remember the name. So with this, I wanted to do something all month, every week, every Monday, of course, to honor seniors at Warren Central that just do great things. And starting off, well, hopefully I can keep it going. I haven't been able to do too much, but that doesn't matter. Um, Starting off, we have Branson Dao, Jacob Hartman, and Kevin Sasser from Warren Central's men's track team. Shout out to them. Um, Very happy that I could get this done. And the big challenge that happened with it, I got bored and I was like, why don't we eat hot wings? And the best thing was to get Blazin wings from Buffalo Wild Wings, which is Carolina Reaper, and it was hot in retrospect. I just had to get them the night before because the time that I did the interview, they weren't open, so they were left over, which is why it probably wasn't fresh hot. Plus, it was dry rub. Well, it wasn't dry rub. The sauce soaked in really easily, and if it was a lot wetter sauce, then it would have been better. I'm a wing connoisseur now, so just that. But also another unfortunate big mistake happened. It's been a while since I've done an interview with anybody and even used the camera when I did this. Plus, even recorded a podcast like that. So, Branson's half of his thing didn't record. Kevin's video didn't. I don't have that at all. But yeah, I'm so sorry for that. Yeah, Branson started out, and then the SD card, I believe it got full because I didn't format it because there was other stuff on it that I needed. Long story. So the audio kept recording because did another thing there, but the video cut off, and his was the longest, and I really liked his. My facial expressions were definitely bad because I was really feeling it, and he ate it, literally. And then Kevin, unfortunately, yeah, his whole thing is not available. Too late now, but I still think all the episodes, definitely a lengthy one. That's the thing for sure. I honestly like that, especially when I listen to podcasts myself. Um, I think it's overall still good, so I have something in the background when I play the rest of Branson's and Kevin's videos. Shout out to them. Thank you to them for joining me, and tune in next week after this to see what we do next. I love you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hot Ones, but without the budget. I'm here with Jacob Hartman, a part of our little senior extravaganza. I hope everything audio-wise is fine. I can't monitor that, but Jacob, how are you doing today?
I was doing pretty good until I figured out what kind of wings we were having. So I guess I'm okay.
How do you handle hot wings normally?
Very bad, very badly. I don't really go much hotter than like spicy teriyaki or something. I don't know.
Oh, geez. See, I'm more of a buffalo /hot. So
yeah, I like hot things, but I don't like really hot stuff. So
okay,
this is gonna be interesting.
Well, okay. So you said you've had a drop of the.
I have had so one time I tried when I was really little. I tried a singular drop of it, and I was probably washing my mouth out with water for a good 10, 15 minutes.
And if I'm correct, they changed the recipe from. Because because this is Carolina Reaper, and the hottest below this, I think, is a ghost pepper.
Right.
So you might have had the ghost pepper, and allegedly this is worse. This is like millions in the. Hey Siri, how hot is the Carolina Reaper pepper? Oh gosh, 2 million. I don't want to hear it. Okay, well.
I mean, with it being that hot, you might not really be able to tell that much of a difference. So we'll see.
It just gets to a point where it's just hot. All right. You got your fork. Go ahead and have you grab one. I'll give you this.
Are they boneless?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That should be pretty easy to do.
Yeah, they're all the same size-ish.
See, I'm already like sweating in the face.
We have milk. We have everything.
I'm gonna go ahead and start with the milk.
Like the little pre-game it.
I don't really like milk that much, but
I mean, whatever helps. So you said we should probably just do. I felt spice in the milk. I think that's just
that might be your head. I just tasted milk, which
so probably take half a bite. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't even go with that. I'm gonna like probably nibble off of this and die.
Nibble? I'm so scared. Okay.
Ah.
Then we got a whole interview after this too. Okay.
I mean, they're a day old, so it might not be. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Tastes like day old chicken.
It does taste like day old chicken. I just got the breading though. That was not as bad.
It's hidden. It's hidden.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but it's starting to hit.
First question. Okay.
I might take another bite.
Oh. Ooh. So I guess I forgot to introduce you. So you're one of the top ranks in the class of 2021.
Mhm.
Do you know which one you are?
Number 3 right now.
Number 3, because I thought I remember number 4. I feel like you were number 4 for a
I
minute.
was for a while, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Now you
who I
rose up to
passed.
3. Okay. Basically, Jacob is, I consider Jacob one of my brothers. I've known him for so long. Just been so close for everything. A part of the track and cross country team. Does a lot for the school. But first one, so what do you do for track? This doesn't feel as hot as I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's not as hard as I thought it would be. I was actually really surprised because last time I remember it was horrible. So this is really like my first like full year of track because my freshman year I did baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Sophomore year I was doing a lot of stuff for engineering in the winter, and obviously last year was kind of a no-go because it all got canceled. Right now I'm like mainly doing the 4x8 and the 1600. I got stuck in the 3200 once, and I used to think I'd like to do that, but I guess I'm just not in tune for that right now. So those are my 2 favorites, I think, by far.
And I do remember baseball a lot. What made you switch over?
I've been playing baseball for like a really long time. I think I kind of lost my heart in it.
Oh, man.
But I also really, really liked running. So, and everyone always wanted me to run track because I was good at cross country. So I kind of gave into the pressure a little bit.
I mean, it seems like you're having a good time. Let's get a little quick break. It's coating my mouth in the hot, but it's like it's not hot where it like hits the back of your throat.
Right.
I might have not gotten a real.
I think
seed
they
yet.
might have been like legally had to like tune this down a little bit because it not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine the Blazin or the actual challenge though. That might be worse.
Yeah.
So then for cross country, that's just like everybody participates in that. There's not really events for that, right?
Yeah, it's all cross country is a 5K, and you have your varsity, your JV. So your varsity, you have run 7 people. JV, you run as many as you want. So you have Carmel that runs like 100 people in JV. It sucks. I feel like they should limit that, in my opinion. I don't know.
Okay, and then what can you say about the bond between you and your fellow track team / cross country members?
I mean, they're probably my closest friends because they're probably the people I spend the most time with now. And it's kind of odd because you become friends with the people you run with, which means like a lot of the upperclassmen are friends with each other, but we have like a freshman that we're pretty good friends with, where that normally doesn't happen just because he keeps up with us. So I guess it all depends on that, but we spend a lot of time outside of cross and track, doing things, playing basketball, coming over to each other's houses, playing like Monopoly. We do that for some reason.
Okay. Because I do remember like it's a spaghetti dinner or spaghetti night is a big tradition.
Yeah, so I don't know how long that's been a tradition, but like a lot of teams do that. The same thing. It's the whole idea is you carb load the night before.
Oh, okay.
And I guess it makes you run faster. But we just load up on like spaghetti or rice and sometimes. And we have a good time. We spend, basically most of the night up until like, a reasonable hour.
All right, that sounds good. What has been your favorite overall moment from the running sports here at Warren Central?
So I feel like every year's gotten a little bit better. I think my favorite part was last year during regionals. I got 5th in the entire race, which is in a big race like that is probably the best I think I've ever done. It was my best race I'd ever ran. That was my single favorite moment, like running wise. But I care more about like the time I spend with my teammates. It's more important to me, I guess.
I hate to cut you off, but Jacob Hartman is sweating. Everybody, I can see it on your face.
Yeah. I was sweating around my nose.
Oh my God. And the next one, since you're a senior now and your season's probably ramping down now. I know State was moved from from IU to Ben Davis.
And what do you think is the biggest legacy that you'll be leaving behind?
I really don't know. That's a good question. It would be a stretch, but I think there's some chances that maybe like a 4x8 we could make a mark on a top 25 board or something. But then there's always the opportunity that we win state, which we are ranked number 2 in the coaches poll right now.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
That made me excited. I didn't realize that before this year, we'd be like a state competing team because I've never really been involved in track that much. And it's not something I'm used to in cross country, so that was really exciting for me. So I guess that would be the legacy I'm kind of wanting to leave.
That's
state,
great.
Compete, maybe win. Yeah.
Do you want a napkin for your face? Or you're good right now?
Oh, I'm good right now.
Okay.
I'm sweating, but I'm really not that much in pain. So.
And then do you think you'll be doing track or cross country when you're in college?
Okay, so I'm going to Purdue, and their track and cross country is really good.
Okay.
So I have not actually checked exactly what the times would have to be, but chances are I'm going to be doing like intramural running.
Okay.
Because they have Purdue Run Club there, not like super competitive things, but they have some good people on that club. So I'd do that. I'm excited for that.
Well, I think it's still good that you're staying involved, and it's definitely a great way to keep you active and everything. But the next question that I have, transitioning into Purdue, I want to say it seems like for this year it's only Ball State for maybe last year and the year before that, but this year it seems like it's really Purdue versus IU for the Warren Central seniors.
Yeah, so I think everyone that I go in my engineering class with, they're all going to Purdue, at least in my period. I know Branson is. Some other people I've talked to are people I didn't really expect to. I know a few people going to IU, but I think I know more people going to Purdue, so Purdue's better. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what made you choose Purdue? I know their engineering program. That's the engineering school. Is that why?
Yeah. So I want to go into aerospace, and Purdue has one of the best programs specifically for that. So that was my number one reason. I could go to Rose-Hulman, but they don't have an aerospace that I know of, a good aerospace program. That was my other option, and of course it's private, more expensive, but the scholarship I got pretty much brings it back down to Purdue level.
I don't know how much it matters to you, but one of the things keeping me from deciding between Purdue and IU was like still the atmosphere. Because I know, you're definitely a smart individual and you actually work hard, but you got to probably take a chance to relax, maybe catch a basketball game if you want, just to take a load off. And what made you get into engineering? Because was it one of the old actually, no. Even before we took tech ed, like I remember back at your house, you had a bunch of like different things that now I'm thinking about. They like are engineering wise, right?
Yeah, so I kind of I guess I started with, the snap circuits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started kind of with that. I didn't really, when I started doing it, I really didn't understand it that well. Because I was, probably a little too young to understand all that. But, I liked doing that stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess now that I think about it, that may have led into it. But, of course, we did tech ed in middle school, and I kind of liked that. It's not as great as it is here, obviously.
It kind of stunk.
There's some good parts of it, I guess. But I kind of ended up in the engineering program here a little bit by chance, just because my plan was to take, an intro to business.
Mm-hmm.
And the way my schedule worked out, it just didn't really fit because it's like a semester class or something. And I didn't have anything else to fill it in with. So we'd contacted my counselors, and my mom decided maybe we should do, engineering. And that was probably the best thing that has happened to me in high school.
I think that's great. You definitely found your thing. I'd say same thing for me with TV. I found my thing, and now I'm doing TV and radio, and hopefully able to do a lot of interesting things over at IU. And were you part of the engineering group that went to Germany a few years ago? Was that because I can't remember?
No, I was not. I was not. I was kind of new to engineering still, so I wasn't on that team. But I was part of the Nanoline team, which went to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay, I remember that.
We had actually two teams.
Okay.
One of them placed second, and we didn't place in the national tournament, but we qualified for the national tournament because the first competition was actually at Purdue,
Okay.
which is the only time I've been to Purdue. Funny enough. So.
Oh yeah, that's another tough thing now. Visits, it's so tough because I got to visit Purdue, but it was like a general thing, and it was like, oh, yep, this is this building, this is this building. Oh, there's the basketball stadium. Okay, let's keep going to the classrooms. And I was like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, the only visit I've done for any colleges was to Purdue. Not the one we went to Nanoline for, but to Purdue as a virtual visit.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided that virtual visits were kind of pointless and aren't useful at all.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me. I mean, some people might have good experiences with that.
Well, I mean, you can't really see the classrooms and the dorms virtually.
You don't get a feel for the environment at all. And it's all on Zoom, and there's no real connection.
So you're going for aerospace engineering. What type of engineering will you be doing in the future? Because I guess what type of career will it lead to? We got him.
Yeah, you got me. So I guess my dream job would be to work for SpaceX or NASA or something, because I think what they're doing now with space missions to Mars and the moon, and with private space industry I think it's really cool. So that's my dream job. If I didn't do that in the aerospace field, at least I'd go to Boeing or something, do something with airplanes or satellites or missiles. Maybe not missiles. I don't like things that blow up. But I mean, that's always an option.
I mean, you might turn to Iron Man. He didn't want to do
yeah,
that.
I could be just a living Tony Stark. I mean, so I've had thoughts about maybe doing mechanical engineering, because Boston Dynamics is a robotics company, and over the last few years they've come up with some really cool stuff, and I think it would just be cool to do something like that too. But sending people to other planets is cool, and building robots that do cool things is cool. So those are both options for me.
Okay.
And that's part of the reason why I like minor in computer science, because with robotics you got to have programming, and now with all the rockets, they're self-piloted now, so you got to program that.
Yeah. Oh man. So kind of getting to the last stretch, one of the big things I've been seeing you do on your Instagram is posting about the piano that you're creating, and that basically ties into engineering. You're doing it for fun. You have a 3D printer at home?
I do not have a 3D printer. No, I'm doing it for my engineering class, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I decided on the project because I play piano, and I mean, that's kind of my thing. So I thought it'd be cool to build an electric piano because, well, what am I going to do in my college? I just don't have a piano in my dorm, so I got to have something. But I'm going to use the laser printer, or the laser cutter, to cut out acrylic to make the piano and 3D print the keys. But I've been working on it. I have doubts about certain aspects of it because I don't know if it's going to work or not. But I'll at least get it partially functioning, and I'm well on my way to getting it done. So we'll see.
And I can let you get the bite. Overall, how long have you been playing the piano?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think I've been playing since 3rd grade.
Jeez.
Now, I'll be honest, since 3rd grade, I've never been good at sitting down and practicing thoroughly like I should, and my practice habits aren't that good. So I'm probably not as talented as someone who would be playing pianos for, what would be now, 7, 8, 9, really been 9 years.
I guess so.
That has been 9 years. Jeez. 9 years. For 9 years in piano, I probably should be a little bit higher level. My practice habits have not always been the best, so I've gotten fairly decent at it.
I mean, you probably practice as you play, right? That's the main thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I shouldn't say it, but that's what I do for band. Whenever I want to do it, I get better just by playing, not necessarily just going into practicing. Another one. What is your favorite song overall to play? I know you post on Instagram a lot. I have a guess, but I'll let you go ahead.
Okay. So I think you probably know the answer. My favorite band is Queen, so by nature, Bohemian Rhapsody would probably be my favorite. If I didn't have to go with that one, I'd go for a classical piece, maybe Fantasy in D minor, which I've tried to record before, but I can't get in one take. So I'm working on that, but it might take me a while.
Okay. And also, have you done Moonlight Sonata before?
I have. It's a pretty song. It's not my favorite to play, but I do it. It's kind of hard. I haven't like focused that much on it, but it's a great piece.
I could understand that. I mean, some sounds good, but then like once you get to actually playing in like the meat of the different parts, you're like, I'll just listen.
It's something like if you're learning to play piano, there's like simple versions of it you can learn, or if it's you're good at piano, it's a great piece to learn, because everyone has heard it at some point, for the most part.
And for the last one, is there anyone you want to give a special shout out to? Maybe I don't know, teams, parents, family.
Oh, I have a
you
lot
go
of
ahead.
to give a shout out to.
I'll take your time.
First one, Mr. Hansen. Thank you for teaching me engineering. Because I don't think I'd be going to Purdue if you didn't, because I wouldn't have had the same interest in it. Yeah, I mean, you've taught me basically everything you could have taught me, and, look where it's led me. I mean, Coach O'Brien, my teammates. Running is not always the most pleasant thing in the world, but you guys make it enjoyable. Because sometimes, you start your run, you're like, why do I do this? But you look to the guys next to you, and that's why you do it.
Okay.
Obviously, my parents, I had great parents. They raised me well, good work. They gave me good work ethic. I couldn't have asked for better parents. And then my family in general. I mean, I go to church every Sunday, so I thank God for everything He's given me. I could go on. Everybody in some way has kind of influenced me a little bit. Even you, it's like being your friend. I mean, it's been awesome. It's been a pleasure. I know we're not going to the same school or anything. We probably won't see each other around that much anymore, but people like you and a lot of my other friends have just like made school in general a little bit more enjoyable.
I hate that I can't see you on the I understand why they split the days up, but still because we were in some class, we probably would have been in at least one of the AP classes together. I don't know.
Wait, which ones do you have?
I'm in AP Lit third period and AP Calculus second.
I have second period.
See?
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, because there's some people I'd really like to have class with this year, but they're on the other side of the alphabet. So
But
kind of sucks.
Yeah, overall, I mean, thank you, Jacob. Also for the many years that we've known each other. I promise I'm not crying. I got a pepper hidden back in my throat. For all the years we've known each other, and definitely overall, you seem happy to do this and excited, especially even when I mentioned the wings, you're like, sure, why not? And I appreciate you for that.
That was actually not that bad.
I know.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm cooled down now. I might need a little bit. I feel a buzz on my mouth, but
yeah.
Maybe if they were fresh, then it would have been different. Or if it was actual liquid sauce, maybe I should have bought that and just coated it on top.
Ooh, that would have been miserable. That would have not been fun.
Or maybe even the real hot ones wings. I think this is a interesting concept that I want to keep going. Maybe, especially if the people at IU like me enough just to lend me a camera. But I can get you another one.
No, I'm good. I just had to wipe that down a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Jacob, for joining me. Good luck at Purdue and with the rest of your life. And that would do it for this portion. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined now by Branson Dao, the second part of our Warren Central Track / Cross Country extravaganza. Branson, how are you doing today?
I'm just happy, glad I could make it out, be on this amazing show. With
appreciate
excellent, man. Great privilege.
Okay, so to sort of bring it back, the blazing hot buffalo wings from B-Dubs. How are you on hot foods?
Being Asian, I've been exposed to spicy food since I was a little kid, but I don't really just go out of my ways to eat hot food like that. I think the most I've had is like the hot wings from like the level above mild.
But it might just be like plain buffalo or something.
I don't know. I just know it was hot. I was like, this is pretty nice. But Blazin,
okay, so
never tried that before.
I guess I got two things for you: good news and bad news. The good news, based off what I had with Jacob, it's not as bad. The bad news is, since it's not as bad, I decided to up it from 1 wing each to 2 wings.
Jacob, you set me up for failure.
We gotta make it interesting. So let me go ahead and. Did I give you a fork?
No,
I did not.
you got it. All right. Oh, wait a second. I moved this mic right here. I don't even have to move. Appreciate it.
Let me give you. Do you want the ones that are kind of clumped together, or no, they're separate now?
Just surprise me.
I'll give
Are
you-
these boneless?
These are boneless.
Just one bite.
I'll give you the container.
I'm getting spoiled out here.
The bad thing is I see the seeds in them, and that's it's never a good sign.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get the at least the first bite rather than the
I'm
first.
gonna let's see if I can cut this in half. Though. You know what? No, I can't. I just have to.
First bite, you're like, oh, it's not too bad, and then and it hits you. You gotta wait. Okay, so first question. Oh, I keep forgetting to give an introduction. We have, ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by the International Extemp State Champion for Warren Central High School, the 5th place finalist for impromptu. He's on Warren Central track, Warren Central cross country. This is tying my tongue already. Cross country. I got a flake. It caught on my mouth. And on this one I said valedictorian for the class of 2021 ? Because I wasn't sure. Is it tied or are you just 2?
I think right now I'm the salutatorian. But if Alexa keeps this B plus, maybe I'll get into first place. But at the end of the day, I'm fine with whatever I get. It's just how life rolls.
I did hear you guys have been kind of in oh no.
Oh no. Hey, it's the pain. I feel
I
it.
can go and grab that. I heard you guys have been kind of getting finessed for it's AP government, right?
No.
Miss Burchett, or it's
I took dual credit gov with Salemi, and I took AP Econ online just how my schedule worked out.
Smartest.
So right now I've just been living life. Salemi, I hope you win Teach Madness. His class
Referee's looking
is so much fun. Just so much fun.
because based off what I hear, Gabe tells me a lot about how in AP government it's tough. Like it's bad when the top 10 students are getting F's and don't have A's, so it's very scary. Let me finish swing off. I can't let the guests outdo me. So
I'm
you know
sorry.
what?
I just had to just munch,
You're scaring me.
just devour it.
Okay.
It's just how life rolls.
Next question.
When you rewatch the video, you're just gonna see me just staring at you while eating the chicken. It's amazing.
So you're so involved at school. How do you balance?
I got a piece of chicken just stuck.
How do you balance school, sports, speech, and even having a life and succeeding in every single factor of your life?
It's sometimes just comes down to just being able to grind, because I'd be lying if I were to say that I don't procrastinate and all of that. I'll go home, just lay down for 3 hours, and once that 12 o'clock just approaches, I just grind for 1 hour straight. But I think I just got used to the grind, basically, and with everything being virtual speech this year, it made it even easier because I was able to come in basically during my running off season and grind speech. Being that I also had COVID, I couldn't officially run for 2 months, and that just happened to line up with when the speech season picked up. So essentially, I was able to just focus solely on speech, win state there, and then now it's just a matter of just running and doing my homework and finishing the year as strong as I can.
And also for speech, when I was watching the award ceremony, I was trying to figure out which specific thing you want stating, because I know there are many categories, and even speech gets so confusing. Back when I was wait, no milk too?
No milk.
You're champing it out.
I got a piece of chicken stuck right. You know when you eat something it's stuck.
Then it comes back
through your nose. You're just blowing your nose, and just a grain of rice or something just pulls through.
Oh, jeez. But there's so many different events and factors coming with speech. I was wondering what the difference is between international and U.S. extent.
So the difference between international extemp and U.S. extemp is basically the type of questions you get. So the main event group that I do is called limited prep, and the name basically explains what it is. You have a limited time to prep and deliver a speech. So in extemp, you draw a question at the beginning of your round, and you draw three of them. You pick one question, and you have 30 minutes to research, write, memorize, and basically prepare for your speech. And the speech is supposed to be like 7 minutes long. So with my international questions, my final round question was, should Europe intervene in Libya? But for the U.S., the question you might have is, how should Joe Biden respond to the George Floyd protest, so to speak? And then there are two other main events. There's public address and interp events. Public address, basically, you give a speech trying to convey information, essentially, and inform your audience. It's essentially just a public address. And then interp is more of your poetry, your poems, your program oral interpretations, basically the more, I want to say, emotional side of speech, basically.
So, I mean, with the one that you do, kind of makes you have to probably watch the news and everything just to, cause it would definitely be bad. I know if I was in the event that you were, I don't watch the news or even get to the world news type stuff. If I saw it, I would probably be poop no matter how much time they give me to prep. But for you, like, how important is it to at least stay aware even though you don't know which questions you're going to get?
A really good thing that I had going for me is that since like 7th grade, I would get bored and just read every news article I could find online. And I would just go to news.google.com and just scroll there. And that's basically just become a habit over the past 4 years. And I stay informed through social media, the internet, basically. So being that everything's just so accessible, it's made it really easy to just stay on top of things. And with extemp, you don't have to know like the entire world. You do have like resources you can rely on to answer the question, but it's still really important to be able to know what they're talking about and know like basically the base knowledge and subjects.
And next, you mentioned just a little bit how speech was virtual this year. What was the transition like, and overall, how different was it? Because for competitions, I guess it's the meets virtual also.
Yeah, they were all virtual. At the beginning of this year, they were planning on doing both synchronous and asynchronous. So basically, you just record your speech and upload it. But as the season went on, we basically transitioned to like this Zoom-like app called NCA Campus, and all the competition were ran through there. So essentially, instead of having to travel to the school and give your speech, you just stood in front of camera in your room or somewhere and just delivered that.
Oh gosh, good idea. Okay. I mean, I need a minute. Okay.
You just had to get it out of the way.
So, even with the award ceremonies and everything, I'm sure it was I've even seen clips of how different was it? Because when you're in person, you're like, you hear the names and seeing the finalists for everything, and it's a anticipation because you're with your people. But if you're just in your room alone by yourself, does it change probably the excitement or the anticipation?
There's definitely a shift in like the enjoyment, the like intensity you get out of the entire process. Like going to speech meets, going to a different school, you're just in a different environment. You're out of your comfort zone essentially, and you have to do different things, go to different rooms, walk in different ways. But a thing about staying at home, and what's kind of a good thing, is that you get stuck in routine. You're able to eat between rounds. Something that I really do miss though is basically the award ceremony, and not being able to be at Fishers High School and walk up on the stage and receive the trophy in front of all my peers and all my other competitors is definitely something I'm kind of sad I missed out on. But at the same time, I was able to cherish that moment with my coaches and all my other teammates who were there for the state finals. So even though we didn't have the best experience possible, it still was definitely worthwhile to be able to know that you were the best at your competitors and you had people behind you.
Do you think that there's a lot of hypotheticals that are thrown around? Do you think if COVID never happened, and if this season went on as it did, do you think you would still be a state champion?
I don't know. My coach and I have always joked around about I always had the potential to be a state champion. It was a matter of fact of if I was willing to put enough work into that. And one thing that COVID did allow me to do was dedicate myself to speech, like essentially full time for that short couple of months of time frame. And even though I did get a lot of work in through COVID, I just think that maybe without COVID, I still would have gotten the same result though, because this year I came with a new mentality, new experiences, and like a lot of just knowledge of how to maneuver around the tournament basically. One thing that we did miss out on because of COVID was a bunch of competitors this year. So after like the first 2 meets, I essentially knew who would be in the final round. So I was almost right. I missed out on 2 people, but being able to know my competition allowed me to just essentially attack the final round with a different level of ferocity, basically.
I think that's fantastic. And, you know, once you did become a state champion, once you heard your name, I'm sure your heart jumped. What went on through your mind?
So being that my coach was one of the members running basically the ballots and all the numbers and whatever judgings we had, we got the results like before everyone else. So on one hand, it was really nice. On another hand, it was not that nice because you don't get to find out when everyone else found out.
Yeah.
But essentially, it went that so basically you want to get the lowest score possible, and in the final round, it was 1 through 6. So my coach, the first score that he saw was a 6. So he told me that essentially he just cussed out loud and got so mad because he thought that I essentially just flopped that final round. But as the scores kept coming in, I got like a 1, 1, a 3, and a 1, and like another 1, 1, 1, 3, 6. I got a couple of 1s and 3s in there. But essentially it boiled down to a tiebreaker between me and another competitor. And I won the tiebreaker because I had a higher rating, essentially. So that moment when I found out that I was a state champion was probably the most emotional moment that I've had in a while regarding speech. I even told my coach I'm about to cry. Now, even though I didn't cry, it was still a moment to be really proud of, because knowing that after 4 years you're able to accomplish something that hasn't been done since the year you were born is definitely something that I'm very proud of and really, really loved.
Absolutely. And we're gonna touch on, you know, college a little later on, but in terms of speech, you know, what is next for you? Is that, I don't know what that looks like past high school.
I really don't know. Right now I'm still debating on whether or not I want to do speech at the collegiate level. Purdue does have a speech team right now, and I'm still on the edge on if I really want to continue speech. At one point in time, I really considered going to Western Kentucky University because they have a killer speech program, and I probably could have committed there and become a national champion and all that. But I do believe that if I were to go on the collegiate scene, especially in Indiana, I would most likely continue my menacing tour like I did this year. And assuming I put in the same amount of work and even more effort than I ever did before, I think I do have a really good shot at succeeding on the collegiate level, especially around in Indiana and maybe even on the national level.
And you've been in sports, you've been in speech all 4 years, right? How has it helped you grow as an individual? I think I might have met you probably sophomore year or something, so I didn't know you too much, but how do you feel it's helped you grow?
Something that speech really helped me with was just simply being able to speak on my feet and just being able to speak in a very loud voice, essentially. Because of limited prep, I'm able to just think really quickly, being able to know what I'm about to say. While I'm like recording interviews and videos, like I'm not really shy of the camera. I don't really stutter, use ums or anything like that. It's just allowed me to become more confident and be a better speech deliverer, basically. And I know that the skills that I've used in speech have directly transitioned to how I have introduced myself to people, to teachers, to friends, deliver speeches at like major events and all that. So it's essentially been like a major, major boost to my abilities as a student and as a person.
And also, for the academic side, you have a lot of great things going on there. And one of the things that just happened today, right when we're recording it, the 2021 Scholar Athlete celebration. Both you and Marlene are going to be a part of it. I don't know if they're done with Warren or not. You might see someone else, but what is that program?
So the 2021 Catch the Stars. No. Catch the Stars? Right? I want to make sure I don't mess that up. I believe. So essentially, this foundation was founded by Miss Tamika Catchings, who is a 4 times gold, basically Olympian, an amazing basketball player. And for years now, she has basically made scholarships and given back to the community. And the athletic director nominates students from their school for the scholarship. And I believe me and Marlene were nominated by Mr. Clayton for this wonderful opportunity. And essentially, it just puts the student athletes all across Marion County and some other schools into a running for a scholarship. And if you tune in May 6th, you will find out who won the scholarships, and you should really tune out because I'm pretty sure it will be an amazing, amazing show.
Absolutely. This will be out before it happens, so I'll make sure to promote that. Next up, like you mentioned, this is an opportunity to get a big scholarship, but you're also one of the big scholarship recipients for Warren Central. They had the I try to find it. I don't know where it went. The one where had you and Colin talked about in it.
Oh, national, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So is that for College Board? The national.
Yeah,
merit?
that was through the PSAT. I got the National Merit Finalist scholarship, and I think that's $500 a year from Purdue. So it's still a nice chunk of change. So I didn't really apply to that many scholarships this year because I didn't really need that financial aid. So I wanted to reserve those who really need the financial aid the opportunity to do that. So since I was already in a good spot and had a bunch of my financial aid basically covered, it was just really nice to be able to know that I was financially secure and had my future essentially paid for.
That's great. Do you remember how much Purdue initially offered to you?
I think they initially offered essentially close to a full ride because the 21st century. Purdue has a program called Purdue Promise, and they covered a bunch of aid through there as well. And that combined with the Presidential Scholar Award, which gave me a lot of money because of my academics, and then combined with national merit, basically made it that I had to only pay like $4. And yeah, it just made Purdue just essentially free.
Nice. And then some of these scholarships through Warren, did you apply through there? Or no?
I don't think I applied to any scholarships that Mr. Thompson put out.
Oh, okay.
But
because I know that's a big event going on
yeah,
soon.
there was he had a lot of scholarships on there. And I'm pretty sure if I dedicated myself through it, it would have been a nice chunk of change. Just a nice chunk of change, of course.
Have leftover money. buy 6 MacBooks. But, money will help you at college. But what made you choose Purdue? I know that's definitely a prestigious school, of course. Coming from Indiana, I think that's big because Purdue's very respected across the country. Maybe not sports-wise because it kind of stink. But
I'm impartial to that. So at first I applied to MIT and for early action, and I got deferred for that. So I also applied to Harvard sort of like as a joke, just so I can apply to Harvard. I didn't apply to any other schools just because of the writing requirement and the fact of like, honestly, even if I did get accepted to most of the schools, I really didn't want to go there just because not only logistics, but simply because of the environment, so to speak, and not being close to home. But when MIT released their decision again on Pi Day, I got rejected. So I was like, hey, that's like one option on the board. So essentially all I had were MIT, Purdue, but basically my 2 main options. And since Purdue accepted me, I essentially accepted that offer immediately. I applied to other in-state colleges like Rose-Hulman, UIndy, I think IUPUI, and Ball State and all of that. And I mean, they were all acceptances. But the main idea was either MIT or Purdue. And MIT rejected me, so that meant I only had one option left, and that was Purdue. And it's definitely not a bad school to end up at all, especially for engineering.
And I was telling Jacob, this year it's normally Ball State that everybody Warren goes to, but I feel like as we see more and more people getting posted on the Warren Central Seniors account, it feels like IU or Purdue, and it's convenient because, I mean, those two are rivals. It's crazy.
Yeah, like, just being able to be close to home, having that like logistical, not having to like travel or fly or drive like over 24 hours is just really nice. And even though there's like this stigma of having to stay in state and not being able to explore the world, I think Purdue is still a wonderful opportunity for engineers or people who really want to focus on STEM. And for me, it's definitely a blessing that not only was an in-state school, it also accepted me.
And I will say, I am planning on doing some like a little senior anthem for graduation type stuff. And one of the lines in the song is Branson, go to college for the free. You a boiler. Don't worry about MIT. So
That's
just,
just bars. That's
need-
just bars.
I might be able to send you the snippet or even like leak my own music, but it's towards the end, so just you're gonna have to wait for that. Big things.
Repost it on everything: Twitter, Instagram,
It's gonna
Facebook,
be great.
smoke signals.
And so at Purdue, what are you gonna be majoring in? I know you said engineering.
The plan is to go through their first year engineering program and then major in mechanical engineering. And I'm planning on minoring in political science as well. And we'll see how that all pans out.
What career later on do you want that to lead to?
That's where I really don't know. The good thing about Purdue is that they offer a lot of internship opportunities. Just yesterday, I talked to the COO of Flow Hydraulics, and essentially we had a conversation that once I graduated, he would be willing to talk to me about internship and work opportunities, and essentially that essentially gives me a wonderful opportunity to get my career just started. A really large hurdle that I've noticed and read about is being able to get experience to find a job, to know what you want to do. So my plan right now is to spend the next 4 or 5 years getting as much work experience, internships, and essentially find out what I really want to do with my life, or at least what to do with my life in the near future.
And overall, I'm sorry, my mind, it might be hitting me back like some flake out of my nose or something. To transition over to track and cross country, what are all the races and things that you do for the track team?
Transitioning from cross country, which are 5Ks and 3Ks and like some hokum karums, to track, which is for me like the 32, the 16, the 800. Essentially, we start focusing on less of like as much endurance and more on being able to have good speed work, being able to turn on your jet boosters, basically being able to respond and attack and be as fast as you can for however long you're running. So instead of having that massive focus on racing across like in 16, 17, 18-minute span, you're trying your best to deliver as much performance as you can in as little time as possible.
I think that's amazing. What got you into doing it? I don't know how long you've been involved.
So 8th grade, I decided, you know what, I'm going to just do track. Like up to then, I've never done any sports. I've only done like Vex robotics. And I decided 8th grade, you know what, I might as well just do that. And after 8th grade track year, where I ran like a 3-minute 800 like consistently, freshman year, I came in and Mr. Shepler, just every day in the announcements, don't be a 720 to, what was that, 2
I think back then it was like
30?
230. I think so.
Don't be a 720, 230 student. So I was like, you know what, let me join cross country. Because I did track, and I think cross country would be a nice segue into that. So I talked to, at the time, the head coach, Coach Turner, and he essentially just allowed me to join the track cross country team. And from then, I just found basically a nice friend group and an amazing activity that I've just continued doing over the next 4 years.
And what do you think you would be able to say about the bond between you and your fellow track team / cross country team members?
It's a bond that I'm sure is essentially unbreakable. Being able to go out there every single day and grind with your teammates through blood, sweat, and tears, and simply being able to do an activity that everyone loves, either for the act of running or just being with your friends, has definitely made some of my closest friends, and it's definitely an activity that allowed me to not only learn more about the school, but learn more about myself and get to meet new friends that help lasted like over since my freshman year.
What would you say has been your let's go with your greatest and your most favorite memorable moment from being in the running sports?
I think I think it would be impossible for me to condense 4 years in a single moment, but something that I would say is not a single moment, but rather the collections of like practices that we've had just over the years of being able to like wake up at 7 in the morning during summer and do a long run and then cracking jokes and having fun. I think the most memorable experience is simply just spending time with my teammates, spending time with my friends. And there's no one day that I would trade over the other. Just the fact of being able to spend time and have fun is definitely something that has been a wonderful experience.
Being a senior now, what do you think is the biggest legacy that you're leaving behind, not only in the school but also track and everything you do?
I think the biggest legacy that I'll be leaving behind is essentially a student athlete who put student first, essentially, as Mr. Clayton puts it. I succeeded not only in the classroom with my grades, I succeeded in academic pursuits and speech team, and I am doing pretty well in track given all the current circumstances. I think being able to show that anyone is capable of dedicating themselves to wherever they want to, for me, was growing up not knowing English to being like the second best in my class and achieving all these accomplishments demonstrates that no one is limited. As long as you dedicate yourself and do the small things and do everything right, you're able to do whatever you want to do.
And also for track and cross countries, that's something that you're planning on doing at Purdue. Jacob said that like they have a really good team. So
Yeah, Purdue has a really, really nice run club and cross country and track and field team. But I think for me, after 4 years, I think running is just another chapter in my life that I'm going to have to write the ending too soon. I might be looking forward to doing Ultimate Frisbee at Purdue, though, and trying to join their competitive team and trying to make a run for nationals. And we'll see how that ends up. And other than that, I might continue to cycle by myself and maybe join the cycling team. At Purdue right now, maybe even though I might not be doing running, so to speak, there are a lot of sports that I would love to do. And we'll just see how that all pans out.
well, I think that's great because just being a part of cross and track, they give you the habits of running and actually enjoying it because I'm sure they help make it fun, which is a habit that can benefit you for the rest of your life. And for before we end it off, is there anybody or anything you want to give a special shout out to?
There's so many people I want to shout out.
Go ahead and go down
All
the
right,
list.
all right. Let me pull out the list. First and foremost, I'd like to shout out Coach Obrizo. You've been an amazing coach, amazing person to work with over the last 4 years. Thank you, Coach Arvin, for always believing in me, helping me grind, becoming the best person that I am. I would like to thank my parents, my families, my friends who have pushed me to be the person that I am, kept me accountable, and simply made me essentially Branson. Thanks to all my teachers who have helped me and believed in me, making sure that I did all my work, did it well, and essentially set myself up for the future well. Shout out to Slemmy. He used to win beneath my wings, the man that allows me to soar so high. Mr. Shepler, you've been a nice influence. Thank you for your wise words and your amazing, amazing stance every single day. Just walking in, seeing you just straight. Great day to start my day. Mr. Clayton, thank you for nominating for me for a scholarship and essentially giving back to the track and cross-country team over the past 4 years. You've been one of the best athletic directors that anyone could ask for. Definitely thank you to WEDM and Mr. Oates over here for having me on his show. Wouldn't be here without him. Man, Coach Maurer, you deserve a shout-out. Coach Cheney, Coach Mendenhall, you deserve a shout-out. I didn't win a Ball State, but I'll take this moment to shout you out. Who else? There's so many people to name. If I didn't name you, please don't be offended. I just have so many people that I'm grateful for. One of these days, I will make a list and just roll the parchment and thank everyone who has helped me in my life. But at the end of the day, thank you to everyone who has made an impact on my life and essentially helped me become the person I am today.
And on that note, I think that's a fantastic way to end this portion off. And next, it'll take 1 second for you guys, maybe an hour for me. Send it over to Mr. Kevin Sasser.
K Sass in the booth.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the final interview of the Warren Central Track Senior Extravaganza, Mr. Kevin Sasser. Kevin, how's it going so far?
It's going pretty good. Just been chilling at home since it's my off day. I had to come in and try these spicy wings.
Now you're here. All right. I'll go ahead and get these sorted out. I'll try to give you the little pieces.
All right. Thank you.
I'll take that one. Oh, gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
Then I'll let you have the bowl.
All right. Thank you.
There you go. So we can go and get a first little bite. You might want to take a half bite. We got the milk and everything for Kevin. We need it. Oh, these ones are like temperature hot too. Okay. Ooh. It's horrible every time. Okay.
Yeah, third time today.
It
Madam.
hasn't all come out, so I can't wait for that to happen.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it hit my throat. Okay.
Yep, I feel it too.
So first one, how do you normally handle hot things?
I'm not really a big fan of spicy things. I usually try to stay on, like, the mild side.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we'll see what happens. So far it's not that bad, but I took, like, the smallest bite possible.
Also, I keep forgetting to introduce you. Mr. Kevin is a part of the Warren Central cross country team, the track team. He's like top 5 nicest people of all time. I just got to mention that in. I love Kevin right here. Next one,
Likewise.
oh, thank you. The burning question, why don't you play basketball with us, Kevin?
Oh, my goodness. Man, I just got to look out for my career. I mean, what's left of it anyway. Because, we play rough out there. Raymond Park. Mm-hmm. And, I love playing with you guys. It's just like, with practice and everything, just like I get a little busy. But, the summer, if you guys are down, let's do it.
I think so. I get it because I've been kind of ducking all the stuff in the group chat too. It's just get tired and then busy, and I'm like, I don't feel like dropping 5 points out of 2 hours.
Yeah, and then just got tired of Eli shenanigans.
He was going crazy.
Why? I don't know. Did he even back it up?
When I heard that, like when I asked if he did anything, I didn't hear anything, so
Okay.
I don't think he did.
Come on.
But the next one, everybody's getting their college decision out. I don't think we've heard one from you. Is yours official yet?
Yeah, I just wanted to.
If you want to do something official, you can. Say
No, I'm not doing anything official. I'm going to IUPUI.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah. It's just like real close to home. I get to save a lot of money just because I'm going to be staying at home, and it has like the perfect classes for me. Gonna try to go into the world of like sports statistical analysis.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So math helps a lot with that too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Has it always been your like big thing that you're into?
Yeah, definitely. I'm big on like the stats and sports, and I don't know. I just think it seems like my calling almost.
Okay, that's great. And I'll be honest, you don't have to try to match me. I know I finished my first wing because I had to match Branson. He was done, so I chugged them all. But you can take your time.
Eating at hole's a lot better.
It's like I don't know, just ripping the Band-Aid off.
I gotta say, I love the milk in a water bottle.
I just had to pour a brand new bottle out. So with track, I've been asking all the guys this. So what individually do you do? What races do you do? Positions, all that.
So I'm a distance guy, which means like I can range anything from like the 800 all the way up to the 2 mile. So like, really the only one in between is the 1600. And I'm on a couple of relays too. We have like relay meets where we do like a 4x16, and then a DMR, which is like a range of like distance events. So you go from like there's like a 1,200 meter leg, and then it goes to 400, and and then 800, and then a mile to finish it off, 1600.
Okay. And for cross country, I think Jacob had told me it's kind of just like everybody's in it.
Yeah, it's
necessarily.
more. I want to say it's like kind of more team based, just because I mean, everything's like team based, I guess, with track too. But I feel like the camaraderie is a little deeper, just because if one person screws up, like it's not much slack to pick up on. So like you just got to be there for your guys. You holding in there pretty good?
I'm trying. How long have you been doing track and cross country?
This is my 4th year of cross country and track. I started as a freshman in high school.
Okay, and then even the other guys have mentioned. Oh my gosh! Even the other guys have mentioned how close of a bond you get between your fellow cross country and track team members. What can you say personally about the bond that you have with them?
You know, it's definitely like feels like a brotherhood. Like I really feel like I got friends for life. Like especially guys that have like stuck with the program the entire time. Like even though we've had like bad years, they've like stuck to the process and just like wanted to be there for each other. And I feel like we hang out all the time, like after school or like out of school and everything. And I just feel like that just makes our bond like that much better.
I think that's great overall. And throughout your years, well, first, you mentioned you did start freshman year. What made you get into it? You said you hadn't done it before.
Oh yeah. So 8th grade year, I was attempting to be a football guy at Stony Brook, and I made starting lineup for wideout, and then got like no touches, and like saw that people were just like getting big, getting real buff, and just one day like the AD down at Stony Brook was like, yeah, we have call outs for like cross country, go ahead and just email this guy. And I like talked to my mom about it, because over time, like, or throughout sports, I would just like noticed I got a lot of endurance on like a lot of the running drills, and so I would just beat guys at like longer pace things. And I talked to my mom about it. She said, yeah, go ahead and email him, like, because believe it or not, you're not going to be a football star. And I'm glad she did, because I mean, I wouldn't change anything for the world, man. It's been such a good ride. It's crazy to think like 4 years has already gone by.
Yeah, I mean, your guys' season's probably almost over too.
Yeah, it's like halfway through, and it feels like it just started.
I know. And then also probably took not too much convincing to do track while you're in cross country, was it? They're like, oh, we also do track. You should do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that?
Kind of. I was still sorry.
There you go.
I was thinking about doing baseball, just because I was big on baseball growing up. But throughout, like, I think it was like the success I had as a freshman really like pushed me to like see what I could really do. And definitely like I was feeling disconnected kind of from like the baseball guys, and so it just like felt like the right move to go ahead and just try out track, and I wouldn't change that either. It's been amazing.
And now, what has been your favorite overall moment from your times being a part of the track team and cross country team?
Honestly, we do spaghetti nights on cross country, which is like every Friday night before a meet. We would go to a designated person's house, and we'd have spaghetti and just like have good times, get ready for the race. It's like moment like those that make you like look back and see like, I mean, who your real friends are, and what you've been up to, or my bad, just see like, I mean, like just hanging out with your guys.
I think that's another great thing. And I guess also you said that was your favorite overall moment, but what do you think your most memorable moment, one that you'll be looking back when you have kids and be like, oh man, that's crazy, I still remembering all that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be probably, I think my junior year at cross country regionals when I got 8th overall. And it just like made me feel like real good about myself. Like we led our team So Keith By, he was a senior before me. He won the race, and then it just like set us up for like a great day. And I ended up getting 8th, and with everyone else counted in, we ended up getting 2nd overall. It was like way past our, I think, seated overall place, and it just gave us a lot of confidence going into semi-state, which like that sucked just because semi-state. Oh man, semi-state that year had a lot of wind and rain, so I really wanted to like look back and say like, yeah, I gave my all, like, because it came down to like a sprint for who was gonna get like top 10, and I just tried to muscle it out.
And now with you being a senior, what do you think you'd be able to say about the legacy that you're leaving behind? Probably group-wise, because you guys are projected to be really good this year. Like, I remember they were talking about that for a while, but also as an individual athlete, and even person.
Yeah, I just want kind of be the legacy that I leave. I wanted everyone to know that, like, I mean, you get out what you put in. Hard work always pays off, even in like little things. So, I mean, I want people to like look at me and say like, yeah, he worked hard, and I want my work ethic to be like that or even better, because not everyone's gonna have the perfect work ethic. But and then individually, like, I hope people find me to be like a nice person. Like, they can always come to me in time of need. Hopefully, like, if they just need someone to talk to, I hope I could be that guy, and hopefully like spread kindness onto others as well.
And another thing, I was wondering if you plan on doing track or cross country in college. I'm not sure what that scene looks like at IUPUI.
So they're a pretty talented program. They're like a mid-level D1 school in that aspect, and I would love to run for them, but my numbers aren't there yet. I mean, maybe I can join like a run club, maybe make my way up there, but right now I just plan on not running competitively, just running on my own, because I've really like developed a love for running.
Yeah, because I was telling Branson about that. Like, it's just great, even if you choose not to continue it competitively, just the habits that it helps you get, and enjoy running. Because I think even if I got into, I feel like it would be tough at first, but I just enjoy it because you got your friends and honestly your brothers along with you for the ride, and then helps you for the rest of your life. And you said you're going for sports statistics. What type of job do you plan on having in your future?
That's a good question. Not really sure. I mean, maybe it could lead to like a coaching opportunity, like maybe being like an assistant coach, running through like the numbers, like a certain percentage of plays worked with this lineup, and like maybe like going small ball, like for basketball at least, gives you like this much more points output and stuff like that. Maybe I could find something like that, but I'm thinking maybe like being like the guy behind the scenes at like ESPN or like ESPN and like NBC Sports, like showing like not showing the graphics, but like coming up with like what the stats are for them, and really like maybe like chase down record books, like I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I mean it's kind of a wide range of possibilities, but also not, just because I mean there's like only a certain number of sports in the world.
Yeah, I mean I think that's really cool because you don't see too many people wanting to get into a field like that. Are you one of the people that always look at like advanced statistics?
Yeah, I try to like clutch field goal percentage and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, it just always intrigues me. Like, I talk to Coach O'Brien all the time about stats like this. Just like like he's on pace to go like such and such and be like one of the all-time greats if he like still like has numbers like that, great outputs like that. And I don't know really. I'm trying to like think of more situations, but
I have one for a second, but I mean overall, because I think it's really cool. I really can't remember what it was. Oh, I won't worry about it. You know, if you can go ahead and give a special shout out to anybody to help you get here. Just the floor is
yeah.
yours.
Just want to really thank my parents just for supporting me, even though like cheering for like a cross country athlete is like really different experience because you only partially see like a runner on the course. So I mean, and they're used to like seeing me every single second of the game. So just want to thank them for like staying strong, and like really all my family for that matter. And really want to shout out Coach O'Brien for dealing with the adversity of like becoming a new head coach right as my bad right as like right through as our class was coming through the program, and Coach Smith always like telling us that we can be better, that we should expect more of ourselves as a distance team to maybe like pick up the slack or just put equal amount of effort in, or not effort but like more prestige into the track events. And I think that's really paying off this year because we're with the first coaches poll, we're second in the state just behind Carmel, and I feel like we can only go up from there.
Absolutely, I think that's great. And the thing I remembered, for like maybe even athletic clothing companies, you can be like, work with Nike. Like, oh, this material helps like this much better. Like even
yeah, little things like that. Like I mean, like there's running shoes out right now that like they say they make you like 4% better, and like just like it works on your total running economy. So just like make sure that you have good form, and like that is in the long run, because it's really used for like marathons and stuff like that, that it makes you that much better.
I think that's coming because that definitely has a lot of versatility. But thank you, Kevin, so much.
Yeah.
I finally had to get you in here. I remember you were asking me about
Oh my goodness, it's
pounding me, but I made it happen.
Yeah, finally, man. I almost seemed like I was ducking you, but no, definitely not. I just, oh man, I'm pretty busy, and I just, I really wanted to be on here.
I mean, I'm glad we can make it happen, and
Yeah, definitely.
the last member or last one we're doing for the senior track extravaganza. I don't have a name for it. Thank you, Kevin, so much for joining me, and that will do it for this episode.
Thank you for having me.
No
Have
problem.
a good one.